Good morning, Year 9. Right, the last lesson, what I did was ask you to complete a form to tell me what sort of equipment that you've got. Now, if you are unable to access a computer, then you can't program in Python or use Notepad++. If you haven't got a web server, you can't program in PHP. So it's quite difficult because actually this year we're really focusing on programming. It does give me an opportunity, however, just to concentrate on pseudocode. So we can probably do it in pseudocode for these lessons. So the lessons will be in pseudocode, but I will ask you to program if you have a language just for practice. So this is an introductory lesson to you. It's not the whole lesson. I want to show you where things are, and I know that some of you cannot access Office 365, which is what I've got on my screen at the moment. If you are on a phone, it is kind of difficult. You can get there eventually, but it takes a lot of scrolling and tapping, and sometimes it's just not worth it. So I will try to produce things either in video or give you links directly to the information that you need. Again, it's difficult for me. I don't use Show My Homework as a pupil, so I don't know what your homeworks look like and how they operate. I can only guess. Your feedback would be really, really useful. If there's something you want, or if there's something I'm doing that you don't particularly like, etc., please let me know. So first of all, the forms. The last lesson, I asked you to complete a form, fact find. And I don't know whether you can see on your screen, but I've got 4 responses. That is not good. It's not enough information for me to work out what I need to do to teach. So let's go into this and let me show you some of the responses, not individual responses, I'm not going to show you that. But overall, these graphs. So this is what I'm looking for. Do you have access to a regular computer? Everybody has access at the moment, but only 4 of you. So I know I can plan for computer. Do you have enough free space? Yeah, I can plan for that. Do you have permission to download software? Well, I've got one person here saying no, so that means I can't ask you to download software, and so on. This is sort of important. If you've got a computer, then pretty much all of you haven't downloaded Python 2.7 onto your computer. That would be really useful if you could. You'll need it throughout year 10 and year 11, and just doing it in school possibly isn't enough. Okay, and again, Notepad++. If you can download Notepad++, both of these, the links that I give you are directly to the creator's website. There are no viruses or anything else attached to them. They're safe to download, and they're very small pieces of software, but very powerful. If you can access them, that would be great. I still need everybody to complete this form. I've only got 4 responses. I cannot base my lessons on that. And again, the browser is kind of important to me because I need to know when we inspect elements on a form. So if I do JavaScript or something else like that, which I know we can do, but we would need Notepad++, then I can tell what kind of errors or problems you're going to run into. And again, I'm asking you what kind of operating system you use. You might notice I actually use a Mac. So I do know that whenever I'm trying to do videos, that they will not match what you, particularly in the files, what you're doing. If you have access to Office 365, I can help you if you can't, or at least I know that if I've got more than one person who can't access Office 365, it's pointless me putting all the work online for you to click. I need to give you some other method. And if you've installed XAMPP on your computer, web server, you don't need to, as I say, but over time between years 10 and 11, if you can do that, that would be superb, particularly for your own progress away from school. You know, your own sort of things to write on your CV and get jobs with. So if you're into it, then I would suggest that you do download and have a look at that. So that's the form. If you haven't filled it out, please fill it out. If you can't get the link to the last lesson, then let me know and I will resend this link. Quickly, going back to this, I have pasted a new link today on the course. So when you log into it, if you can log into it, I know you can't, bear with me. In the resources tab at the top, where I'm pointing out, in web resources, I've put a new link called specification. We're going to have a look at that today. I'm hovering over it. Take a look at that link. I'm going to explain that in a minute. And I've put a new tab in here, virus lessons. So if I want to do anything which is just during this virus period, I will stick them in here rather than term 4, term 5, and so on. So any virus lessons will go in here. Who knows, we may be back into school term 5, term 6, and we can continue using it. If you do any work, what it would be nice for you to do is to, let's find somebody, let's go to Mason Bell. If you are doing any work this term and you want to put it up online, I suggest that you create, so in here, create your own section called virus lessons, and then I will know where to look for your work if you upload it and paste it online. I will be doing a lot of forms. It seems to be the best way of getting feedback from you, and it's not brilliant. I do require work on paper, and you can either photograph that and send it in via Show My Homework, or upload it. However you do it, you can even email it to me. But at the moment I'm bouncing off 4 walls with so many devices. I've made a little video of me working, or my working environment. I'll show you that later, and you'll understand that I've got so many devices, so many email accounts, etc., that I find it very difficult to keep track of things. Last thing, remember I showed you this link. Let's go back to the top of the page in resources, hover over specification. This big link here, what I've done is I've gone to this company called Bitly, which changes the link, and here I've put that specification. As you can see here, there's the normal link. That's a bit too big to go into Show My Homework, and it messes things up. So what this does is shortens the link and gives me just a very small link, which works really nicely in Show My Homework. However, you can't really see what the link is to. It doesn't tell you that it's going to the J277 specification. So I will, in Show My Homework, try and explain what the link does when you go to. It would be nice if this said PowerPoint, specification, form. It would be very nice, but it doesn't. So that's how I'm creating these links, and that's what will appear in Show My Homework. So what I really want to do in the next video for today's lesson, I'm going to keep them short, save me having to keep remaking them, is just have a look at the specification, and in particular what we need to be looking at for our GCSE course. So that will be in the next lesson.